Today I'm going to show you how to make a gingerbread man and a gingerbread lady. So the things that you will need in order to make the gingerbread man and gingerbread lady are as follows. Die cut gingerbread pieces. So here I've got 4 pieces, 2 for the lady and 2 pieces for the man. I have got the front of the lady's dress and the lady's bow for her hair. For the man, I've got the little blue bow tie. I've got embroidery thread to hang them up with, blue cotton to sew the man's bow tie on, red cotton to sew the lady's ribbon on, some nudie coloured embroidery thread to do a blanket stitch all the way around, some black thread to sew the eyes on with, the eyes. So I've got 4 of these little glass beads. I use nail varnish to put on the smiles on the people's faces. These are just nail pens which are very thin. They've got a really neat little nib on. So you get a really neat little smile. Now these letters that I've got are iron-on, but I find that sometimes they can come away. So I've also got some heavy duty fabric adhesive which I spray on to keep the letters in place. You will need a couple of needles, a thicker like embroidery needle and also a thin little needle. One to do the blanket stitch, one to sew on the finer details like the bows and the eyes, and you will also need some wadding and a pair of scissors. So let's go. Start off with, we'll do the lady first. So take the die cut piece that you have for the lady. I do the smile first, so I just take the pen that I've got and draw a smiley mouth. While I've got the pen out, I'll just do the same for the man as well. Okay, so you can see it produces a really thin, small line. You can always go back over it if you think it looks a bit uneven. But the line is really thin, and I like that. You can get fabric pens, but I find that on felt they bleed quite a bit, and I'm never really happy with the results. So draw on your smile and then you can sew on the eyes. So for that I'll just need a thin needle and some black cotton. So start at the back and secure your thread and then just put the eyes wherever you want them to be. So I roughly try and line them up with the smile. So then take a glass bead and thread it through. And then just check that you're happy with the spacing. And then repeat it on the other side. Okay. And then make sure that you securely fasten it off at the back. Okay. We can snip that off. And then repeat the process for the boy. And again, fasten that off at the back. Oops. Okay, now before I start stuffing, so that's me finished with the black, the next thing that I would do for the lady, I would sew the red bow on her hair. So I'll do that. So again, just take some cotton or thread, whatever you've got, and then just sew the bow in place. So it's better to do it at this stage here because you can keep all the stitches really neat and everything is hidden, because you'll be putting the other die cut piece at the back and no one will be able to see. So put the bow wherever you want it to be, and then just put a couple of stitches through to tack that on. Two's usually plenty, but I'll do another one for luck. Okay, and then that is all you need to do for the girl before the stitching and stuffing phase. Again, just secure it off at the back, and then that is done. And for the boy, swap your thread over to some blue thread. And for the boy, the bow tie wants to be just somewhere roughly around his neck, about there. So stitch that in place. And then again, and then that should be secure, and then just secure it off at the back, and then that is the front of the boy done. So now we're into the stuffing phase, so we'll do the girl first. So take the girl and sandwich the two pieces of felt together. At this stage now, what I would do is take the dress and the letter that you want to use. As I say, these pieces of felt that I've got came and they've got like an iron-on backing on the back, but I don't find it works that well. So what I'm going to do is just use some fabric adhesive to just stick the J on there. So I put fabric adhesive, then I take the piece of felt. It's really sticky stuff, so I just kind of whiz it around. Don't touch it with my fingers because it actually brings off my nail polish. First world problems, I know. There we go. And then just make sure that it's in the place you want it to be. And then it's probably easier to just do the P for the boy while I'm here as well. So again, just with that in the solution, get the boy and put the P for the boy on the felt. Don't worry if you get a bit of the adhesive on the felt because you can always tidy that up later. So that's the letters stuck on, and the next thing to do now is to do a blanket stitch all the way around, and we can stuff it. So it's up to my bigger needle that I have mislaid. There. So I'll just put some new thread on because there's not much there. So I use 2 strands of cotton. I always start my stitch in between the shoulder, so just here. So secure the stitch off with the blanket stitch. For those of you who don't know, blanket stitch is a really secure stitch, and the way it works is you start off your stitch, so you go through, my hair's getting stuck, you pull your stitch all the way through, and just as your stitch is about to disappear, you put your needle back through. So do this stitch all the way around. Try and keep your stitches evenly spaced if you can. Keep going. When you come up to the corner, just make sure that the dress catches on the stitch. So just pop the dress back into place and then bring it back up underneath the arm of the lady, and you can use the dress. So now you're sandwiching between the 3 layers of the felt, and that will just anchor the dress in place. And then keep going down. So the process for sewing up the man is the same. It's the same blanket stitch and stuffing process. So here is the finished man, and here is